Okay, so what I'm going to do now is go over into the modifiers tab, and I'm going to add a modifier to the frame. I'm going to add the bevel modifier that we looked at earlier. You can see this has now added this beveled edge, and it's added it all across the frame. Now, if I zoom in, you can see we still have these faceted edges here, and if I right click and hit shade smooth, you can see that makes no difference. And the reason for that is we are actually applying the bevel to the edges here as well, which is not what we're after. Now, there's a way to get around that. If I go over to the bevel modifier here, under the limit method, we can change that from none to angle. And you can see with this 30-degree angle that's set by default, all of a sudden our cylinders are now cylindrical again and smooth, and we have the bevel applied to the other objects, 90-degree angles to them. So now, having done that, you can see the effect of our bevel is far too strong. So we need to go in and adjust this amount. So if I hold down the shift key, I can slide this down to adjust it to a more sensible amount. Somewhere around there looks good. We want just enough to round out those edges, catch the light, to make it look a bit more natural. And we can maybe go in and add to the segments, and that will round it out a little bit more, make our effect look just that little bit better. So that looks pretty good. You can see over here, because we've got a sharper edge, then we've added the bevel around the end of the cylinder, even though it's not been added to the edges within the length of the cylinder. That's exactly what we're after. So we can now go ahead and select the swing seat, and we can do exactly the same thing there. Go to the modifiers, add in a bevel modifier. We'll need to do the same thing again because we have these cylinders. We need to add this limit method, set that to angle, and now we can adjust the amount. Let's slide this right the way down, again holding the shift key, and let's increase the number of segments, just round this out a little bit more, and we can right click and shade smooth. There we go. Don't forget to hit Ctrl S to save. Now that the model of our swing is complete, it can be useful to save a new version of the file. This means that it's easy to come back to this stage if we ever need to in the future. So to do that, instead of hitting Ctrl S to save, we're going to go up to the file menu and hit Save As. As you can see, we previously saved our file as Playground version 1, and it's highlighted in red down at the bottom here. This means that if we hit Save As, it's going to overwrite that file. One feature that's quite useful in Blender is we have this little plus and minus icon. If we hit the plus icon, we can actually increment the number of the file and then hit Save As.